Alright, boys and girls, welcome back to Math. This unit we're going to be doing is on measurements. We are going to start with, um, or we're going to be looking at converting different types of measurements into one measurements. In this unit, we're going to look at word problems and we're going to look at different types of measurement systems. So today we're going to get started with something a little bit more familiar, um, which is the customary system. So there's different ways we can measure an object. So like take this bottle of water for instance. There's different ways you could measure this bottle of water. One way, so there's three ways we're going to talk about. So one way is I could measure the weight, so how much the object weighs, or I can measure the capacity, which is kind of like the volume, so how much can fit in the object, or I can measure the length, how long an object is in any direction. So today we're going to be talking specifically about customary capacity. And customary capacity is something you're probably a little bit more familiar with, and talks about the gallon man and the gallon system. So we have the biggest unit being the gallon, and inside the gallon there are 4 quarts, and in each quart there are 2 pints, and in each pint there are 2 cups. And something that's I think added on from fourth grade is in each cup there are 8 fluid ounces. So knowing that information, I can say by using just what I see on the gallon man that 1 gallon equals 4 cups, 8 pints, 16 cups, or 1 quart is equal to 2 pints, 4 cups, or 1 pint is equal to 2 cups. All right, now we're going to use that information to answer some questions. So one of the things you need to know is, although I know the measurements, how do I actually convert them? Well, if you're going from a bigger measurement like a gallon to a smaller measurement like a cup, you are going to multiply. And that's because you're going to get more smaller units out of a bigger unit. So you're going to get more of those smaller units. But if you're going from a smaller measurement or a smaller unit of measurement, like let's say cups, into a bigger unit of measurement like gallons, then you're going to divide, because you're going to get larger units because you have smaller units. It takes more smaller units to make a larger unit. All right, so let's look at this particular situation, or these three quick problems. So I want to know how many quarts are in 3 gallons. Well, looking at my big G, I can tell that 1 gallon is equal to 4 quarts. So I'm going to use my multiplication because I'm going from a bigger unit to a smaller unit. So I'm going to say the 3 gallons times the 4 quarts in each gallon equals 12 quarts. Okay. The next problem is 48 fluid ounces to cups. Now, in this particular situation, I'm going from a smaller unit to a larger unit, so I am going to divide. And before, on my page previously, I learned that there are 8 fluid ounces in a cup. So I am going to divide the 48 fluid ounces I have divided by the 8 fluid ounces that it takes to equal a cup, and that's going to equal 6 cups. Okay. Likewise, I can also mix my measurements and figure out, well, how much is in each. So if I want to know, if I have a 1 gallon and 2 quarts and I want to figure out how many pints that is, I can use what I've done before to change both of the measurements into pints. So 1 gallon is equal to 8 pints. And then 2 quarts is equal to 4 pints. So altogether, I would have 12 pints of liquid. All right, but in 5th grade, we don't just convert, we also look at word problem conversion. So in this particular situation, Sammy is going to make fruit punch for his party. He has a recipe for 64 fluid ounces of juice, and he's going to triple the recipe. How many pints of juice will he make? So in word problems, there are typically going to be 2 steps. So 1 is you have to actually solve the problem, and 2, you have to convert it to the correct units. So in this case, the first thing that I need to do, or it says that I'm going to do, is I'm going to triple my recipe. So I have 64 times 3, which equals 192 fluid ounces. But my question is asking for my answer in pints. So now I need to figure out, well, how many fluid ounces will it take for me to equal to 1 pint? So going back to my measurement, I know that 1 pint is equal to 2 cups, which is equal to 16 fluid ounces. And in this situation, I'm going from a smaller unit of measurement to a bigger unit of measurement. So I'm going to divide. I'm going to take the 192 fluid ounces that I have, and then I'm going to divide it by the 16 fluid ounces that is needed to make a pint. And I find that that is 12 pints of juice. Okay? And then finally, the last one. The chef made a gallon of gravy and used 3 cups during lunchtime and 2 quarts during dinner. How many cups of gravy is left? Alright, so this one is another multi-step problem where I'm converting what I started with into smaller units, and I'm actually solving a problem. So I know that the person is taking away because I'm figuring out how much is left. So if I have 1 gallon, I have quarts and I have cups. So I'm going to start with taking away my larger unit. So 1 gallon minus 2 quarts. Now I know in 1 gallon there are already 4 quarts. So if I take away 2 quarts, then that leaves me with 2 quarts. But I'm not done because now I have to take away 3 cups. So I need to figure out, well, how many cups are in quarts? So in each quart, there are 4 cups. So in 2 quarts, there are 8 cups. And then 8 cups minus 3 cups equal 5 cups of gravy. Okay? So for your assignment, you will be answering these on your own questions. There are about 4 questions. And as always, I will go over them in my next video. All right. Have a good day.